next generation, and also appreciating the men out there, the communities, the families, each and every single person, the great organizations that have embraced the women to support them in their various fields as they operate. Well, as we continue to celebrate the women, we're celebrating all of them in their fields in ICT, in health, that is to do with, there's aviation, there's really a whole lot more in various sectors as far as our economy is concerned. My name is Sandra Kahunde, coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Good to know you're watching UBC as we continue to inspire you. Winding up the month of July, it's a journey for us, still here to appreciate them each and every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings from the hour of 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. Well, with all the appreciation, I'm having a great panel, and we're here to listen to the wonderful stories of inspiration, their journey, their unique challenges, and how they've maneuvered, and how come they've chosen those particular paths they're celebrating as far as life is concerned. You never know. You could be right there trying to figure it out, and you're like, which particular course should I do? You not listening to that still inner voice in you that this is where you're meant to be, this is what you're supposed to be doing, because at the end of the day, it has to be the passion. Place your best foot forward. I hope at the end of this conversation or this very episode, you'll have figured it out where to stay. For my panel, yes, lucky and blessed to always be having women each and every single morning, listening to them. I count myself lucky, the brilliant super women. And today on the show, I am having super women. I'll take you through my panel. I am joined, I'm having Penina this morning. Penina Tomohimbise. She's into social change. She's a social change enthusiast. She's a researcher and advocacy. That is from Social Change Enthusiast Program Development. And also joining me this morning, I'm having Chisache Brenda. She's a swimming teacher at a Swim Safe Uganda. And still this morning, I am having Engineer Winnie Namagembe, engineer with the Ministry of Water and Environment. That is our panel this morning. As I unveil my panel at the extreme end, I am having Penina. You're most welcome. Next to Penina, we have Brenda. And Winnie is right here next to me. Penina, how is your morning and how is work?
My morning is really good. I'm just so happy to be here and have the opportunity to share with the country and the people watching about drowning prevention work and what I think I like about drowning prevention and being a social change enthusiast. So I'm really excited to be here, and work is really great.
Yes, I really wanted you to bring it out more appropriately. I could have messed it up with what you do, at least a little bit about you. What's unique about Brenda? They're saying that, yes, my name is Sandra, and I know I'm short. Something unique about you.
So something unique about me,
or something.
Yes, so something unique about me is I did biochemistry and chemistry at Macquarie University, and of course people don't expect scientists to like run into implementation and program development, but to me that is something I'm very passionate about, and I like to blend the science. Like I don't believe scientists are set in the lab, are set in class, but we can actually get involved in social change and create quite a difference, so create an impact in the community. So yeah, I think that is what I love about myself. My science really does help, and program development is really enticing and exciting when you see people.
It's enticing.
Yeah,
the way to go, yeah?
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Embracing the tech space.
Yes, it is.
Amazing. Well, next to Penina, I'm having Brenda. Brenda, tell us more about you. You're from Swim Safe Uganda, and you're a swimming teacher.
Yes.
It's usually the men with muscles,
yes.
The ones you find in the pool.
Yes, so my name is Chisache Brenda, just like you mentioned, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm a swimming teacher with Swim Safe Uganda, and it's a non-government organization which has dedicated most of its efforts into teaching swimming skills, drowning prevention, and life-saving. I'm glad that I've gotten this opportunity to be able to share a lot of the things that we do while we're out there as an organization. Yes.
Something unique about you? Something amazing?
Something amazing about me is that I'm one of the few female swimming coaches Have you ever heard of any swimming coach?
You know,
Female swimming coach.
Like I said, we're used to the guys with muscles.
You're used to the guys with muscles. So I'm one of the few who are out there and who are doing it as swimming teachers, and we're really excelling at it. Yes.
Oh, amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, next to me, I have Winnie. Winnie, tell us more about you, something unique.
Yes, thank you, Sandra. I'm Engineer Winnie, one of the few female engineers, as in registered engineers. Yes, I did civil engineering from Makerere University. Yes, and I'm working with Ministry of Water and Environment as an engineer there. I'm really happy and glad to be here. I'm glad to inspire women because I feel, you know, back then we know these courses, science courses are for men. A woman, it's really hard to be an engineer, but here I am. I'm really doing well at it, loving it and excelling it. It really feels good to be in the male space. Yes.
And she doesn't know she's in the male space.
Yeah.
But I hope the males have trusted you and they have supported you.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
Okay. Now let's start with the issues to do with water, the vandalism and everything. The water meters back home. You don't have to worry about that.
All right.
Well, for starters, I'm proud of what you're doing. I know it's passion. For someone out there who's wondering, she's a lady and she's into engineering and she's done all that and much more. How come you chose that particular path in life?
Actually, I think at some point it's wanting to invent what you feel is outside, as in everyone else is saying engineering, no, because I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. But I'm like, no, what is so much about engineering that a woman can't do? I'm like, okay, I should really embrace this. I want to always take that path people think is really hard. So that's why I really chose this. And I believe it can really be done by everyone else. Yes.
Well, beautiful. So the ladies out there, the young girls just know, like Winnie says, it can be done by anyone else. Well, Brenda is more about swimming, and there's really a lot to share when it comes to drowning, more insight she's here to give to us. Maybe just for facts out there, for the viewer who's just joined us, when it comes to drowning, what you need to know. Well, drowning is the third leading cause of death from unintentional injury globally, with more than 322,000 deaths from drowning each year, and over 90% of these occurring in low and middle income countries as far as World Health Organization is concerned. That is a research for 2022. Well, these estimates do not include the drownings from water transport or floods that are predicted to be underreported. Now, just bringing it back home right here, when we look at Ugandan drowning, due to the abundance of natural water resources, drowning has become a major cause of death in Ugandan communities. Despite their prominence, many of these water-related deaths often go unreported. Yeah, just for a little facts coming through before we get into our discussion. Starting with with Penina right there, with the work you do at the organization. Yes. What are these facts like? What is your take on this particular fact when it comes when we bring the drowning back here at home?
Maybe to highlight something small of the 322 deaths that you've mentioned that are globally recorded. You have 90% of that being low and middle income countries. And we all know Africa has been ranked as many countries in Africa have been ranked as low and middle income countries. So the 90%, Africa takes a large percentage of that. And Uganda has 18% water. And we have a lot of risk factors that cause people to drown. You have people being in rural locations, people not knowing how to swim. There's quite a lot that really contributes to the death rate. And you know, these are mostly unreported. These are mostly underreported. You have people that police reports. The deaths that you have are from police reports. And then you have those that are not reported at all. So you expect the number of deaths to even be higher than that. Because from my experience going into these islands, going into these lake-based communities, there's quite a lot that is going on, and the burden is really so high. Of course, I recently had someone ask me, oh, people drown in Uganda. And I was so shocked. To me, that works in drowning prevention work, I'm surprised and alarmed that someone would think Ugandans don't drown. Yet we have communities that are lake-based. We have islands in Uganda. We have Lake Victoria, for God's sake. So someone should know just off that we are at risk of drowning. Or communities around lake-based areas, communities in the like island communities are more at risk for drowning. And here you're looking at, of course, people who do water transport, like occupational activities on the water. You find fishermen, you have coxswain, you have like different people, the ones that also live on the water. So there are many people that are at risk. And I think we also forget to mention that it doesn't need someone to be around the lake, around the water source, around a river, like the very stereotyped water sources for someone to drown. Someone can drown a baby can drown in a basin. A baby can be unsupervised for people who have pools at home or in schools. Children can fall into water anytime. So the risk for drowning is quite high for Ugandans because most people don't know how to swim. Most people don't know, we don't have barriers around pools. People are not, there's no awareness when it comes to drowning. So the burden is quite high and people are a bit ignorant, I would say. About, of course, ignorance is not stupidity. People like mistaking that. Ignorance is just not knowing information or not having the right information. So most times people are not aware of what are the causes of drowning. Are you at risk for drowning? What can you do about drowning? So when people don't have that information or don't know what to do in such cases, parents who don't know, oh, I'm supposed to supervise my child around the water, communities, or you have district officials and community officials that don't know, okay, we should set barriers and try to prevent people from accessing certain areas on the lake. And I'll give an example for most islands. They barely have taps, like the countable islands where you find a tap. So their water source for drinking, for washing, for cooking is in the lake. So, and of course, who does the home chores? Our African setting, the children at home are the ones that are going to do the chores, the mothers.
Near the water source.
Yeah, and it's so alarming to find that the children don't know how to swim. A good percentage of island communities don't know how to swim, yet they're living and are very at high risk.
On a daily, they have to do the fishing.
But then they can barely swim. But then they're in the water all the time. I've seen a kid on a jerry can trying to jump. The water is deep, taller than, like deeper than my height. But the kid is jumping on a jerry can trying to fetch water. And the kid doesn't know how to swim. So I'm like, what happens if there's no one around and the jerry can trips or changes direction? This kid is going to drown.
And no one will ever record.
Yeah, and no one is going to record. So they'll just, oh, yeah, food there. And that's it. So the burden is really high for Ugandans. And I think there should be something being done. And we are trying, of course, to do quite some work towards that. But yeah, I think the future is bright for us.
I think Brenda comes in. Yeah. So you're saying the future is bright? Amazing.
Yeah, the future is bright.
I think that's when Brenda comes in. The teacher right here. How many have come to you for swimming classes? The different communities out there, because some of the other things will be like, that is for the uptown, those who are from well-to-do, they have they live luxurious lives. They have money to spend via swimming or stuff like that. That is the bias, I'm sure, that comes through. Who approaches you for those swim classes?
like you've mentioned, it's the up class, but also even these ones who are still low, because every time I'm at a swimming pool, I find that very many people are interested in finding out, how did you learn how to swim like this? So I get to interact with them, and for those that I can manage, I usually give them swimming lessons. I even give them my contact sometimes so that we can link up later and we take a session. But very many people, we've been to very many communities, just like she has mentioned, outreaches from Swim Safe Uganda to make sure that in most of the communities, especially those which are far, like the lake-based communities, we give them basic water skills so that they can be able to survive. Even if there is no lifesaver or anybody around them, they can be able to survive themselves. So we've really reached out to very many people, and yes, very many people have been coming to us. Yes, so the number is quite high.
Looking at the communities, are those that are near the landing sites?
Yes.
And you know, Africans will have at least free things. Have you tried to donate to them or maybe give them the life jackets? How are you sensitizing them to really entice them to know that this is a serious issue that we need to, you know, be part of?
Yes, some of these outreaches which are down in the landing sites are sponsored. We have very good sponsors who are on our side, and they help us to reach out with costumes, sometimes swimming goggles or head caps. Sometimes we give them life jackets and very many other things that are related with swimming equipment. Yeah, so that's how we entice them. We just call upon them to come and join. They don't really have to pay. Yes.
So the training is for free?
Most of the times, yes.
Most of the times?
Yes.
And the ones that approach you, is it more women in the youth, or more men?
I would say it's both, but women feel comfortable relating with me because I'm also a woman, and kids, because I'm a woman, probably I have that motherly love that I show to them, but also men reach out to me, and I'm very proud of that they can see potential in me and give me that opportunity to coach. I've coached very many men, I've taught them how to swim, and women as well, also kids. Yes. So
it's no longer a luxury that I want to cut off some weight and I should get into swimming. It is something that one needs to know, maybe know the basics at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like she puts it earlier on. You don't have to drown when you're in a lake or a swimming pool. It can happen at any point.
Exactly.
Amazing work the ladies are doing. Well, just next to me, I'm having Winnie, an engineer. Tell us about your field. How do you find work? Because I know it's a male-dominated environment that you operate in, and I would love to hear that men have supported you, and we salute you for being where you are and working with the ministry. So you'd be the right person to encourage a fellow woman out there to know that engineering is also for them.
True. Thank you so much, Brenda, again. Yes, it really feels good working in a male-dominated world. Actually, right now, the stereotype has changed because we've seen, I think, the girl-child talk has taken over the male child. So you find actually now more engineers or more women graduating with science courses. So in my field, really, now it's no longer about the women or what, but still we take that and we applaud the men really for embracing this. I feel in my office at times it's not about favor, but as long as you present yourself there, you prove to them that yes, I'm here for this and I'm ready to deliver. The lorries want to give you the space to prove yourself as well. So we are no longer a weak sex. So we can do the work that used to be for men actually now. So whether it's going to the lake, whether it's going to buildings, it's on the roads, women are everywhere now. Yes, and if I'm also to talk about the drowning, which we are embracing, the Drowning Prevention Day is to be celebrated tomorrow. That is 25th of July. Yeah, so we are seeing women more of us here being trained, training children. We really need to encourage women to do this. Yes, so really no one should drown, and they always tell us do one thing to prevent drowning, and one of them at least is learn a skill, which is really drowning, learning to swim or teach someone to swim. So no one should die. You will not die because you don't know how to sing or to run, but you'll die because you don't know how to swim. Yes, so we are here to embrace that
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe allow me to take you back. How has your journey been? You know, you're like, in our family, we have more engineers, or maybe your parents have shaped you and nurtured you to get to where you are.
Okay.
Maybe you have an uncle, someone you looked up to, you have role models, that's why you took that particular path. We want to encourage the young girls out there to also enroll and be like Winnie. Let them get to know the courses. Are they supposed to be friends when it comes friends of figures?
True.
They should make the figures their friends.
Yeah.
Or maybe do good when it comes to sciences, to turn out and be not exactly like you, but at least to flourish in life, in your field.
Yeah. When it comes to engineering, I have a cousin, like he used to be with us, he's called Herbert. Herbert is a civil engineer. So I used to look up to him, and I'm like, what do I do to be like Herbert? But in my head, since engineer 2 I'd read Gifted Hands about Ben Carson, wanted to do, he was a neurosurgeon. Yes, so every child who read Gifted Hands really wanted to be a neurosurgeon. So when I reached senior 6, I felt that biology was really getting hard, but I was still good at my physics, chemistry and math. So I asked myself, what else can I do? I talked to my cousin. He's like, you can do engineering. I'm like, are women also allowed to climb trees? Yes. I'm like, so we happen to have career guidance at school. They come talk to us. So I ask, can a woman really be a civil engineer? The gentleman was really very clear, was like, what a man can do, a woman can actually do better. That statement really changed my mind. I was like, I'm going to do civil engineering. When it came to filling those job forms, I put civil engineering first choice, second choice, third choice. Like, you don't have any other course to do. So I felt I really needed this. So when I went in there, I had, of course it comes with the ups and downs, but you have to be strong. When the times are tough, you'll be tougher. So I was like, I really have to grace this. I have to do it, take it to the end. So I did it, enjoyed it. First of all, you have to develop the passion and the love for what you're doing as a woman out there. So whether you want to be a doctor, you want to be an IT person, yeah, we have the women in science, women in technology. Yeah, you just have to love what you're doing and do it with passion. So even when it comes to work, I feel whenever I know I'm going to work and I'm doing my passion, it really gives me that love and fulfillment.
So you have to go an extra mile, moments where you had to dip your feet in a bucket full of water to do your books.
I know.
And let me get to the ladies out there yet again at the extreme end, that is to do with the swimming. She says earlier on, at least learn a skill, one or two, to avoid such circumstances.
Yeah.
What are some of those skills you'd encourage us to, to adapt to?
I think we have...
And maybe another thing,
yes.
like say, with the earlier research we just read out and maybe sharing with the viewers just joined us, that is to do with the research that comes through the third world countries. How come we're the ones who are really so affected?
So I think the biggest explanation, of course, comes to, like you said, income. So I think the risk factors that really contribute to maybe African countries or third world countries being really affected by drowning, we have time of the day, we have rural location, we have the inability to swim, awareness of water safety, lack of safe water, and travel on water, flood disasters, and flotation devices. And as I mentioned, most of these, you realize they tailor a lot to our countries, or our African countries, because we have water transport, but then it's not safe. There are no regulations to make sure we actually have. They're there, but they're not really enforced well. We have, I think, flotation devices. How many people in Uganda can afford a flotation device? A life jacket, I think, a safe working life jacket goes for around 80,000. So we're already ranked as a low and middle income country. People are living below the dollar, and you're telling them to buy a flotation device that is 80,000. This is money that someone has to probably work 3 or 4 months to save up to buy a flotation device. You have lack of supervision. Our countries have hardworking people. If you've grown up in Uganda, you've grown up in a middle class family, you know your parents every morning go to work. they can barely afford to pay maybe someone to watch over you. So at home, either the bigger child takes care of the younger ones. So at the end of the day, there's no supervision for those that are roaming around. So either they left the kid home, or someone that is taking care of them is also working and doesn't have the time to like look after them. And also during the days when most of the activities are like done, so you have occupational activities that are done on the lake. I explained earlier about people who are fishing, people who are transporting others, people who are doing recreational activities. And if most of these lack awareness on drowning, on how to prevent drowning, obviously the rates go up. So it's really not hard to say that low and middle income countries, without the different interventions that have been set or standardized, we are bound to have high drowning incidents. Because I think some of the interventions that were set by WHO include creating awareness, having barriers installed near the water bodies. We have creating safe places for children to prevent drowning. We have teaching swimming skills, learn to swim program, and also teaching rescue skills. We have self-rescue and resuscitation. We also have creating policy and regulations around drowning prevention, and we also have flood risk management. So as you can see from those interventions and what is going on in these communities, only quite a few have been implemented, or a few are getting tackled. You go to quite a number of lakes or beaches or what, and you're not going to find a single barrier. But then they know the people that are coming here probably don't know how to swim. Or the islands obviously know this is a deep end, this is maybe a swamp area, this is a muddy area, but there's no sign to like say anything about that. So what SwimSafe is doing is actually trying to dip into some of these,
to at least put the
some of these interventions. If we can, we empower the communities to create
and
the
how is the reception
demarcations.
so far? Because you might reach out to them and like, we know this lake, I mean, we've grown up in this village. How can you come and start telling us what to do?
So now our role is we work with the communities. We don't try to impart things on them. We come, we talk to the local council leaders, we talk to the religious leaders, and we tell them we want to have maybe, this is how we do our recruitment or our selection. We tell them we want to train maybe 90 children or 100 youth about swimming, water safety skills, survival swimming, and then they'll give us the children.
So
we train them, yes, we train them in the community, and then these become ambassadors of our work.
To also train and groom others.
Yes, so when they go back to their communities, it's now their job to sensitize their communities and tell them, you know what, I think we need this. From what we learned, if we put a barrier here, we will reduce the number of deaths. If we change this, so more like you're creating ambassadors for change. When you train people on something to do, then they're like, oh, okay, so maybe this is a good thing. So they go back and convince their parents, their community members, and progressively, it's not something that happens. So I can't honestly say that it's something that we train them and then the next day they go do, but it's progressive change. Which I think for any implementation program, that is what you really want. Like, are people going to change progressively rather than, of course, do something the next week, after 2 weeks, they forget about it.
Well, Brenda, what are some of those skills or basics one needs to, you know, have, instead of just being, I just float, I just flap my feet into the water, and that's it. At least some of the basics for someone out there who's watching.
Yes, actually floating is one of the basics that I could mention. But before floating, somebody needs to learn how to breathe, how to control their breath while in the water, and when to take a breath. Okay, then from that level they can learn how to fully submerge their bodies in the water, and then from that level they could learn how to float, that is both on the front and on the back. Then from that level they can add a skill of kicking. After kicking, then it gets to moving the hands. And after moving the hands, then we get to breathing while swimming. Okay, so it's broken. That's probably what happens with almost all the strokes. There are very many different strokes. It's not just about floating and kicking, but each and every stroke has got its own ways of kicking, ways of moving the hands, and ways of bringing the head up, turning it on the side or bringing it up to breathe. Yes, so at every level, a different level of skill is required, but at least take the basic level, the basic level of just floating, or even just kicking, or even just moving the hands and breathing while swimming. Yes.
So in case there's a panic attack or something like that, and you're not so good,
yes,
you're not really an expert, what happens?
What happens?
What do I need to do?
What do you need to know? As first of all, do not panic, because it starts in the mind. The moment you panic, then the whole
you're
body,
going to swallow the water.
Yeah, you're going to swallow the water, and everything is going to shut down. So the very first thing I would advise you to do is call for help if you can. Okay, if you're in a place where you can probably bring your head up to talk without choking, or even if you're choking on water, actually, try to call for help, or try to put your hands up so that people can see that you're actually in danger. And then after that, we say don't panic already, so please don't panic. Look at your environment. If there is something you can hold on to, probably if you're close to the wall, you can try to grab the wall. If there is nothing else you can do at that point, what you can count on is the people that you called for help, because you yourself, there is nothing you can do. Okay, if you can try to roll on your back and do a back float, but if you cannot completely do anything, then you have to keep fighting and trying to grasp that air as you come up and go down. But most importantly,
so you can easily lie on your back.
Yes, you can easily. If you don't panic, you can easily lie on your back and stay there. Yes.
If you're not panicking,
if you're not panicking, you can easily do that. Yes.
Now, with your kind of research and the deaths that have been recorded, the drowning reports that have been coming out, how have you been able to get such findings? How have you managed to get all that information?
So most of the drowning statistics that you have in Uganda have been researched on by School of Public Health, Makerere University, and I think most, of course, is through Dr. Olive's work, I think Dr. Frederick Oporia. So also SwimSafe, I think, recently partnered with University of Southern California and carried out a study in Mayuge that was just assessing the drowning prevention interventions in Mayuge district. So most of these incidents, of course, are mostly from police reports, because when someone dies on the village, it's recorded, and then police also notes down. So how the research happens is they're going to go and venture into the different police reports and record, okay, these are the number of fatal deaths that we have, these are the ones that nearly survived. These are that is how they get the statistics. Then, of course, they have self-reported cases where you go in different communities, household per household, and someone says, oh, I lost a brother, I lost a sister, I lost a mother, and then you can tell, okay, these are the numbers that have actually passed on because of drowning. But also, you have, is it called the mortuary? So you have the mortuary recorded deaths. If someone comes into the mortuary, they're like, oh, how did this person die? They have to report the incident as drowning. So that is how most of the fatal cases have been recorded. And I think about our study in Mayuge, it was quite insightful, because we usually do a research project that involves community outreach. We trained 30 youth, water safety skills, self-rescue and resuscitation, and they actually learned quite a lot. And we've also, I think, created a few policy briefs. Last year we were going around different TV stations and I think ministry, was it Parliament, trying to distribute and disseminate some of this information that we had. So it's been quite a journey for us. I think we celebrated last year World Drowning Prevention Day, and it was the first physical World Drowning Prevention Day event in Uganda, and this year we're doing the same. So and we keep doing the work, because research informs what you do and informs everything around your implementation, your interventions, and changes the status quo and how you do things. So I believe I'm a big advocate for research, because
well done.
Yeah, I feel like I know most people are like, oh, research is hard. Like whenever someone says research, it's like
one has to sit down.
Yeah, someone's like, you do research. This is such a complex thing to do. And in my head, I'm like, this is something people term complex, but this is something that is so simple. It's just as easy. If I have maybe 7 people and I say, I'm going to ask you about a particular question and I want your views, that can simply count as research. A small survey can count as research. So it's not, I want maybe to convince every woman out there, it's not as complex as people make it to be. You can be a researcher if you choose to be.
Data and you're into research, someone is like, okay, I need to know all the different computer.
Yeah, but you just need to know, can you collect information or gather information from people? If you gather that information from people, can you pick something out of what you've gathered? And then how do you let other people know of the data or information you've gathered from different people? It's just as simple as that. That is basically what research is about. So don't feel so threatened by the concept of research. And eventually, like any opportunity you get, if someone says, I want a research assistant, go for it. If someone says, I need a data like someone to collect data, go for it. If I need someone maybe to analyze data, like find opportunities where you can engage in what you're passionate about, more so for research.
Instead of the bias that comes
instead of having a bias of it's going to be
the whole day to be on the computer, and I need to be quicker when it comes to typing. So you start thinking about lots of things, and you're like, I cannot manage to be one in charge of data collection. Wow, good stuff. I just moved to Winnie right here, and woman engineer. We've been appreciating the women, celebrating the women. We started our journey embracing the women in ICT, and like earlier on, Penina also put it that way. It's a tech space, that is the way to go. Yeah, for the viewers just joined us, we're having a great panel, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, celebrating women from the hour of 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. And this morning, I'm having a great panel, brilliant women, Penina at the extreme end. I'm having Brenda just next to Penina, and right here, I have Winnie, an engineer from Ministry of Water and Environment. How do you incorporate ICT in your day-to-day work?
ICT basically, right now, it's what runs the world. So any skill that you need with your computer when it comes to engineering, the drawings we do, the designs we do, really interpreting the data they've collected really needs your knowledge of ICT. So that is all embracing science in a changing world. So really, it has to work with us. You have to be part of it, basically. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to speak to a parent out there, a woman, who is like, why would I invest in my child to that particular course that Winnie has done? Will it be easier for them to get into the job market? Questions running through their mind. You're like, I think they would turn out better if they're lawyers, or maybe they're journalists like Sandra.
That's a good one, yes. So a parent out there, probably this, I still feel the stereotype has really changed. So parents, we are really embracing all children right now. So anyway, me, I feel it's women talking to women, but still women, we have to go an extra mile. Okay, when it comes to our daughters out there, we feel when they are empowered, they are going to change the narrative or change the world out there. If I feel I'm an engineer, I feel my daughter should do engineering or something better, or be something, even if it's a lawyer, because these are all fields that we used to think they are for men. So women out there, please encourage those children, take them to school and give them that hand. Child has come, mommy, I need this. They've told me they need this. You're like, no, your brother has to first take it first. So we have to give both of them space and allow them explore or be the best of themselves. So I feel it's all about being open to opportunities, because I feel I admire now the swimmers actually. If my daughter came one day and she's like, yeah, and she tells me, Mommy, I want to be a swimmer, I feel the sky should be the limit for this child. So we don't have to limit our children in whatever they do. So we have to give them space, do what they feel they really want to. We just support them in being there. But if it's science, let's still embrace it. If it's art, we embrace it for our children.
How easy was it for you? After school, and then looking up for a job, and you know, the men supporting you, like you earlier on put it. How easy was it for you?
Actually, I can say I didn't look for a job after school. It's happened because I was retained at the university. We had a laboratory, that is materials, because laboratories are not only for doctors, even engineers. We have what we call materials laboratories, where you test the materials you're going to use for road construction, structures, and all those buildings you're going to put up. So I was there for some time. I built my capacity, they built my skills. Until then I applied to ministry. I joined the Ministry of Water. That's where I've been for some time now. But as long as you do sciences, I feel the jobs should look for you, because the world is embracing science. And once you're out there with your science, you'll be on market. So you have to encourage little girls and everyone else actually to take it up. Yeah.
Okay, I'll move to Brenda. For a lady out there who wants to do exactly what you're doing, turn out to be a swim teacher, it's their passion. What needs to be done for them to find their best foot placed right there?
Okay, the very first thing that they'll have to do is take a swimming lesson. If they don't know how to swim but they admire what we do, take a swimming lesson, and then reach out. There are very many platforms like Swim Safe Uganda. It offers learn to swim programs. It also offers mentorship programs for those who want to become swim coaches. We have the Uganda Swimming Federation. We have the Uganda Coaches Association also. It can also help them to do we call them clinics, but they are workshops. They're like trainings. They can attend such trainings so that they can also become coaches like me. It's really not so hard like it looks like. It is something that is very achievable if they get to the right sources at the right time, I guess.
So how can they find you? Someone has really been inspired and wants to catch up with Brenda. How can they?
I'm on social media and I use Chisache Brenda. Chisache is AA. KISAAKYE, Brenda. I'm on WhatsApp, Facebook and Instagram, so they can always reach out to me and I'll give them more leads to what they're supposed to do or who to approach in that case.
Okay,
yes,
that's very good. What has kept you going? I mean, because you know, there's waking up, you're like, it's time for me to go to work, and you feel so dull. Not only Mondays, you feel dull and like, I need to change this job. It happens sometimes. So I'm trying to figure out what has really inspired you, has kept you going.
Actually, I think...
Because, you know, when it comes to women, there's a lot. The community needs everyone wants a portion of you.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, hey, I don't have a me time.
Okay, I think I'm one of those people who look forward to work. I'm one of the few because I love my job. I love swimming a lot, and what really keeps me going is every time I teach a child and I see them getting from a level to another level, it just inspires me. Like, it just puts me to another level. So for me, I look forward to that. Every time I can inspire, even if it's a girl child, even if I go to the pool and I just find people swimming and I give them something, a tip or something that can improve their skills, it just gives me life. So for me, despite all the challenges that we have as women in swimming, it has just the feeling of I've added something, I've added an impact to this, just keeps me going. And it has kept me for all this time because I've been in the field for quite some time. It's coming to 10 years now, and I'm so proud of it. Every child that I've taught, even when I find them, I feel, you know, the pride of I did it.
It makes you forget about the unique challenges.
Exactly.
And which are those? The men bully you, eh?
Yeah, the men, because it's more of a male-dominated field.
Like, you don't have thick skin. How can you really support someone who is drowning? Doesn't have the muscles to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges we actually get as women who are in the field of in those male-dominated fields, because we feel like we're being marginalized because most of them are men, and most of the decisions they make favor them as men. But we're trying to maneuver slowly. We're calling out women out there, please come and join us. This is going to be a national cause now. And then other challenges are really cosmetic, like my hair. You know, you cannot really plait all those nice hairstyles. Then maybe my skin, you go into the water and then your skin becomes flaky and all those things. Then probably nails, you will not do your nails. But those are simple things that we can work with. So women out there, please come and join us. Let us be coaches, let us
forget
be
the heels, the lipstick and the nails.
No heels, no lipstick, no nothing.
And do a service.
Yeah, so you just have to be raw, but really it's a very good field, and I call upon anyone who is out there, please, if you'd like to join, please reach out. We will be there to help you in any way possible.
Oh, beautiful, great work you're doing. Well, Penina, I love the fact that you are sharing some tips with us to do with data collection. For someone out there who wants to do your course and turn out to be successful, and well done. You're doing tremendous work.
So I think about if you want to be like me or want to do something similar, it's not, you don't have, like I said, I did biochemistry, you don't have to do biochemistry. It's totally unrelated to what I'm doing. But I think the biggest thing I like telling maybe young girls is have passion. Passion will drive you through any challenge that you have. If you're passionate about something, speak out on it and be open to learning. I am the biggest example for open to learning. So with your biochemistry and your science background, you're stepping into program implementation. You're stepping into going into communities and trying to teach them different things that are unrelated to science. To me, at first it was a challenge. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to convince people this? I don't think I know how to talk to people. And I think one thing that helped me through all of that is I learned to speak out and keep up the passion. If you know, okay, I'm passionate about this, you figure out a way to get that done. And open to learning is whenever there's a learning opportunity, take it. If you're passionate about engineering like Winnie, if there's an opportunity, you go for it. If you're passionate about swimming, seek for those opportunities that really get you to where you want to be. And if you reach there, there are always going to be challenges. My biggest challenge is walking into a room full of men, and I'm going to speak and take up the space. And they're going to feel uncomfortable, but I'm going to be like, you'll be okay, because I am in this space, I have to take up the space.
I'm not competing, but at
yeah,
least...
I'm not competing. I have nothing to prove. I am probably better than you at this, so I'm going to take up the space. And don't be shy about, most ladies like to dim their light when they're in spaces where men are taking over, or when they're in spaces where they feel nervous. My biggest push is do it scared, do it afraid, do it either way. Like if I walk into like just go for it.
You have to put on those shoes.
Like put on those shoes, learn you're a big boss, you're going to do these things, and it's nothing to worry about. If you mess up, mistakes happen, you can always rectify that, but keep pushing, keep going for what you really want in life, and stay passionate about it. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. A few minutes left to the top of the hour. I'll just give a minute to Winnie right here, a message or word of encouragement you'd love to share with a fellow woman out there. Okay. Yes, maybe saluting your fellow colleagues at the ministry or something.
Okay, thank you so much. I would really love to appreciate UBC for giving us this opportunity to talk to the nation. Basically, we are talking to the world. So I'm excited, women out there. You can also be Winnie seated in this chair. So don't lose hope. Keep pushing, whatever the circumstances. Yes, I know those lights at times, as she said, we like dimming ourselves, but keep yourself high, believe in yourself, trust yourself in whatever you do, give it your best. No, yes, I'm meant for this, I can grace it. Even in the male space, when you feel challenged, actually, this is the moment you have to talk to yourself more, and you're like, I can grace this, I can be better at this. So yeah, never lose hope, never dim your light, always shine it brighter. Yes, that's what I would really tell my fellow women, because I feel we are meant to shine, basically. So no one should put you down or put your light off. Yeah, thank you.
We can be like them and even do it much better.
Yeah, true.
Well, before we let you go, tomorrow is what do you expect us? What should we expect from you as far as 25th is concerned?
Tomorrow is World Drowning Prevention Day, and this is a day that celebrates all the work that has been done towards drowning prevention all over the world, and SwimSafe has been lucky to be an implementing partner in drowning prevention in Uganda. So we have different collaborators: School of Public Health, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Works. We have different people that are taking part in these celebrations. We have skits, we have the ghetto kids are going to be there. We have, I think we have a lot going on. We have water polo games, we have people demonstrating how to rescue someone from drowning. So there's a lot that is going to happen tomorrow, and please look out for the hashtags on Twitter, look out for us on YouTube. The event is going to be live, and there's quite a lot that will inspire many people to actually do something about drowning. And our motto is do one thing, add one thing, and improve one thing. That is an all-round motto. But specifically for drowning prevention, please, if you're a parent, try to take your kid for swimming skills. If you're district officials, try to be involved in policy and planning around drowning prevention. If you're maybe already doing the work around drowning prevention, try to do something that can improve people's skills around drowning. Maybe support community outreaches. SwimSafe we run community outreaches throughout the year where we teach different youth. You can reach out to us and partner with us. You can make a donation to us and contribute something towards training youth around drowning prevention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Our appreciation goes to my ladies right here for today's panel, and for the viewer out there who's been following this particular conversation from the hour of 10 a.m. It's been a pleasure spending time with you. I'm looking forward to having more of your company. That is tomorrow, same time, same place, as we continue to embrace the women. Well, Penina, Brenda, Winnie, thank you so much for your time. These are the women out there trying to make history, a sharp history, and continue to pave way for the next generation to come. Enjoy yourself. Have a great day. More programming coming your way. Keep watching UBC.
Pick of the day on UBC.